Hello, this is Rick Charles Muller, the writer of With the Assistance of Queen Anne. This is video entry number 11. It is June 5th, and we are sitting in the rehearsal studio with the director, Laurence Schwartz. How you doing, Laurence?
Fine.
What is your take at this point? Actually, tomorrow, great news. We're going to have the costume, and the show is all blocked. What are you feeling? What are your insights?
Well, it's something brand new for me, directing a queen on stage. I mean, a real queen. And
was that personal?
No, but
I have been accused of being a queen. Yes.
It's fun for me because, you know, as a director, you see the title queen in front of her name, and you think, oh, she must behave this way, she must behave that way because she's a queen. But she's not going to be a queen. She's going to be this firebrand of a woman who just happened to have been queen. So that's the joy that I'm relishing from dealing with the queen as a character in this play. You know, she's going to be funny. She's going to be witty. She's going to be sarcastic. She's going to be an imitator. We're going to see every possible element of a human being, positive, negative, warts and all. Who is this Queen Anne?
And I imagine a queen would hide her warts.
Not this queen.
Oh, she's not going to hide her
not
warts.
This queen. And
interesting.
She is. She's not the kind of queen, at least when queens were alive and extant in this era. She's not the kind of queen that had, you know, I don't think, 18 hairdressers and all of these people in the payroll. I don't think Queen Anne I haven't read that much about Queen Anne, but I doubt very much she was a vain woman. I doubt very much she was it's not what she wasn't, it's what she was. She was a politician. She was a broker of peace between nations. She was a uniter between nations. She was a diplomat. She was everything. But of course, below that, Anne, this character in the plays, is going to discover that she was a vulnerable,
that's interesting
person who I think might have been denied these feelings of love and compassion during her lifetime because of the monarchy that she was embroiled in. Her husband George was a lazy sot. I'm a lazy sot, quoteth John Lydon. So it's been a very interesting journey so far. I think this will be something that the audience is not used to seeing.
From my conversations with you, of course, you know I'm writing a novel right now about this, so I'm indulged. And I'm engaged in a much different part of the history now, because the novel is including different things. But in my discussions with you, you are developing a relationship with the Queen from history. I've heard you telling me. I've learned interesting details from you, so you're underestimating your research. And I just want to feel, are you developing? I just want to find out. Excuse me. Are you developing a relationship with Queen Anne?
I am. The more I read about her accomplishments, the more I admire her. We use the word First Lady in America. You know, what do First Ladies of presidents do? What do they really do to help the welfare of the state? What do they really do? You know, does a Lady Obama, when she goes to China or she goes wherever with her husband, what does she do? Does she lunch, or does she shop, or does she talk about peace? Queen Anne did things that I think today First Ladies wouldn't go near. That's one of the reasons why I'm so taken with this woman, and one of the reasons why it's curious why she's not been paid more attention to in history.
Interesting enough, and one interesting detail, we know that there were other queens in history, but not the history of England, but not that many as one would think. I mean, there was Maud in the 11th century who was embroiled in a revolution and a civil war, more of a civil war, and then there was for 1 week Queen Jane, and then for only several years Queen Mary, and then for 40 years Queen Elizabeth, and then Queen Anne's sister Mary, and then Queen Anne. So that's not, considering the length of the British monarchy, there weren't many queens.
And something else I discovered is that under the reign of Queen Anne, literature flourished, and the art of the historian also flourished. So I think perhaps she had a response. She was partly responsible for creating an environment.
And one other interesting detail that I discovered in her reign, it's when Shakespeare became the literary icon is to this day. It was in her reign where it began, because it had more to do with the publishing, how publishing expanded at that point, and many of his plays were basically available to be read by many people, and that happened in the early 18th century during her reign. But anyway, great talking to you, Laurence. It was a great rehearsal today, and basically,
See you next time.
see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.